Welcome to the official West Maui Coastline driving tour. This is a self-guided audio tour that you can download from Shaka Guide. They have individual ones that you can buy, or you can bundle it for the whole island, which is what we did. We actually did this for the Haleakala Summit, and we did it to watch the sunset there. And then we also did this for the Road to Hana full loop. So I highly recommend doing that. It works very easy. When you download it, it basically just kind of like syncs with your GPS. So it'd be just like using whatever GPS you use, except it's also talking to you the entire time about what you're seeing, where to stop, different things like that, which is really fun to do so that you can do things at your own pace, on your own time, stop where you want to stop, start and stop and do different things like, have lunch or dinner. So it's a really great way to see a part of the island that most visitors don't really go to. The tour is recommended to plan about 6 to 8 hours of time to set aside and to start it by 10 a.m. so that you can get to all the different stops like before anything closes. We were not able to start our tour until 1 o'clock because we were doing a chocolate tasting, which I highly recommend. It's in a tree house overlooking the island. So we still did somewhere between 6 and 8 hours, but yeah, we weren't able to start till 1. So I do recommend starting earlier in the day. The official route starts and ends in Kahului, and it just makes a whole loop. But because it's a loop, you can actually start wherever you want, and it will keep like telling you where to go and circle back. It doesn't have to be done in the exact order starting from Kahului. So if you're already like on the other side of the island or something, you can start there and circle back, and that's totally fine. If you're going to be over in Kahului, I recommend eating at Miso Fat Sushi. This is a place that was featured on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, Guy Fieri's show, and I'm not like adventurous with sushi at all. I just stick to normal things. So we had the spicy tuna roll and the California roll. This is what they look like. They were pretty decent size, so that was good to have just kind of as we got started on our journey. And then I do have a video here of that day of our trip to see some more photos and videos from it. So the first big stop, if you started in Kahului, is Kapalua. This is a really big golf area. JP said that he had actually golfed here before and had completely forgotten about it until he saw it and was like, I've been here before. They have this little like meditation circle that you can walk through, which was pretty cool. And then I loved the coastline here, so the rocks and the cliffs, because this is pretty high up once you get over on this side, and they were just crashing up there all day. You can see the waves crashing up. It was also pretty breezy. You can see a lot of these trees are kind of leaning. But yeah, it was just a nice pretty day, and it wasn't super busy either. One of the next stops that they recommend getting out at is Fleming Beach. They have this cute little preschool here, but it was just a small little cove. We stopped here for a bathroom break, and it was pretty busy, and we knew that we had already started kind of behind. So we didn't really get out at this spot, but it is just kind of like a beach spot to hang out. Next is Honolua Bay. This is a perfect spot for snorkeling. You'll see snorkelers out there more often than not. We saw a few out there. We took the trail out and back and hung out for a little bit, but didn't make any plans to snorkel that day. But the views were really nice and the trail was really nice, and this whole area did seem like just a much less busier part of the island in general. Next is the Nakalele blowhole. This one, to see more of it, you'll have to watch that YouTube video above where I have the videos of like people getting too close to it or trying to get to it and just kind of how it blows up. But for this one, you do kind of have to trek down like rocks and stuff. It's not an easy path down to it. There's a lot of people in flip-flops losing their shoes. The time it's going to take you to get all the way down there and back up, you'll probably get thirsty. You may get burnt. So like people thought of it more as like a quick stop overlook kind of thing, but it's a little bit more involved in that if you go all the way down to the blow. So just kind of be prepared for those kinds of things. Also, like the whole thing of like keeping your distance from it is like people get swept away all the time from blowholes. So like let's not do that. For this one, if you just want to, this is just kind of the overlook of the view. The blowhole is kind of in the other direction. But this is something that you can, 5 minutes to watch it kind of go up and people watch, or you can spend, like 30 minutes or so and actually go all the way down there. After that, it's just kind of like scenic driving stretches from there. There's like these, you get all the mountain views here, and then there's like little tiny towns, probably not even a whole town or like a village or something like that. And it's just little things like that. And then you kind of start making your way back to like civilizations. You can see there's like churches and things. The architecture was very like, not random, but there was a variety of architecture that was like interesting in these buildings, which was nice. A lot of that portion too, getting back to here, it's just kind of like a one lane road, so there could be traffic backups during that part. We were there in February and didn't have any traffic, so that didn't slow us down, but that's also why if you plan the 6 to 8 hours, just in case for things like that. Again, once you're back to civilization, there's like a general store and and shops and stuff, and here is more of like a farm view. And then one of the last big stops, Meow Valley State Park. I believe it has something to do with Jurassic Park. I'm gonna Google that really quick. I'll be right back. Okay, so there's some kind of like opening scene for Jurassic Park that there's something called Jurassic Rock. It has a native name too that is near here that I guess was filmed there. So this one, because it is a state park, they do charge $5 for parking, and they will close like, you know, much earlier than other, you know, than like the beach or something. So try to plan your trip to be here before like 5 o'clock so that you can get into the parking lot. The thing that you do here is there are these big steps that go all the way up to the viewpoint of the Needle, which is these kind of sharp, pointy mountains. There's also a trail that goes down to the river that you can do as well. The YouTube video above has a lot more of this section. Very last things on there is there's actually petroglyphs in Maui, which I wasn't even aware of. We've gone to a lot of different petroglyphs, like Capitol Reef National Park has them. Albuquerque, New Mexico has like the petroglyph national monument. So this was fun to explore. There wasn't really any signs of like, welcome to the Maui petroglyphs, but there was a sign that's like, please don't vandalize these. And no one else was there. It's just kind of, it's off the side of a dirt road. There's no protective barriers, nothing. It's like, these are just rocks on the side of a dirt road that just happen to have petroglyphs, and like, you would never know unless you walked up to them. So we checked these out for a bit. And then the trail circles, or the route circles you back through Lahaina to get to Kahului. Since we had been going to Lahaina like a million times throughout the trip already, once we got to this spot, we considered like the tour to be complete, but we kept the GPS on for it to still like tell us different things. But at that point, we were just heading to dinner. We were planning to go to a place called Aloha Mixed Plate because it was like very highly like rated and very popular, but they had, I guess, closed permanently, and it was attached to a place called Star Noodle, which is also very popular. So we were like, well, we're here, we might as well go to Star Noodle. So we had that. We shared the tempura shrimp, garlic noodles, and the hapa ramen bowl. I had garlic noodles pretty much every single place that we went the entire time that we were on Maui, and they are just so delicious. I absolutely love them, and I love the ramen bowl. I don't love the tempura batter texture in general, but JP really enjoyed these. But that's pretty much it for the West Maui Coastline driving tour. Again, it's through the Shaka Guide app. You can download the tour through Viator, and you can do just the individual tour or the bundle of everything on Maui so that you can do all the different driving tours while you're there. I do recommend staying at Kaanapali Beach Club while you are there. It is a Hilton Vacation Club resort, but you don't have to be like a timeshare owner or like member to stay there. You just book it like you would any other resort. We stayed in a 1-bedroom deluxe ocean view suite. This was part of the view from our room. So what I like about these resorts is that you're basically getting like a 1-bedroom apartment for the same price as like a standard hotel room. So having all the extra amenities was nice. Again, this was more of our view, the resort pool here. Must try restaurants. So I do have a post on the best restaurants on Maui. This here is lobster and crab grilled cheese from Down the Hatch, which is in Lahaina. So I definitely recommend checking that out for some more restaurant ideas. And then just in general, some more fun things to do when you go to Maui. This header here links to a post that has a list of all the best things to do. But I also have a post for Haleakala National Park doing the summit. It's very popular to do as like a sunrise summit tour on a guided tour. Ours was canceled because of weather because it was February, so there was like snow up there. So we just drove ourselves using the Shaka Guide driving tour, and we went to watch the sunset. Whale watching is another great activity here. We were there in February during peak whale watching season, so we had a great excursion out there. Here's kind of what it looks like out there on the water. Maui also has a great cacao farm and chocolate tasting tour. You go into a tree house on their cacao farm and it overlooks the islands, and you get to taste the chocolates that are grown and made there. They actually have the largest chocolate factory in all of Hawaii. And here's part of the cacao farm portion of the tour where they show you like how they harvest it and turn it into chocolate. I also have a list of the best luau's on Maui, since that's kind of like your typical big bucket list thing to do. The Road to Hana full loop drive. This is basically like the West Maui Coastline drive, except on the other side. The Road to Hana one is the more popular one. Most people go here, but most people only go to Hana and back. I highly recommend doing the full loop as long as the weather permits. This is the black sand beach near Hana that pretty much everybody goes to. And I also have a 6-day, 5-night itinerary that includes basically everything that I've mentioned, how it all fits into an itinerary, plus some other little things. The last thing I have is a free PDF download of 5 things you can do for free in Maui. It just asks for your email, and then it'll send you the PDF download from there. But this way, you can either save money on your trip, making it more affordable by finding the free things to do, or do some free things so that you can splurge on other things. But that is everything I have for the West Maui Coastline Driving Tour.